Oh, what's up, guys? So, the first part of this video that I just recorded like 5 minutes ago, apparently I did not press record, so I'm gonna do it again. But maybe I'll have some more intuitive messages for you this time around. Welcome back to the Moon Lagoon. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you did, there's an important message for you here that I hope that you're able to reflect on and learn from before 2019 is over. This video is just kind of quickly me discussing like the things that I want to discuss with you. I'm trying to share quickly, and I'm not going to be like editing the video very well or making it like super, music, and then like, you know what I mean, like those YouTube videos where you're like, oh wow, I'm real interested. Hopefully just the message is interesting enough and I don't need all the bells and whistles for this one. There was a full moon last night in Gemini, and I practice a new moon and full moon ritual. I practice a new moon and full moon ritual for every cycle, and this is something that I do for manifesting, and I've been doing it for a while now, but there's a difference between just the full moon energy and then the full moon underneath a specific sign. If you look at the world from an astrological viewpoint, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with Mercury in retrograde, then the planetary changes that are happening in general, not just Mercury, all planets affect us. There are some really big changes happening that are going to affect how all of us are living. It's going to affect how the whole collective is shifting into a new perspective of life. There are going to be things in our big systems for like corporations and like governments and stuff that are going to be drastically changing, and a lot of these changes that are coming in are going to be things that you need to prepare for now before they happen, or you're going to be shit out of luck, basically. I was doing my full moon ritual last night, and I like to watch this girl. Her name is Water Baby. I'm actually going to share her page because her message is very good for me personally, and I had a lot of hits to my third eye and my crown chakra last night from connecting to her energy and watching her video. And she kind of just like has like a little chat discussion thing of like the full moon and the new moon. She talks about the aspects and stuff that are going on, and even if you don't really understand what that means, it basically is like, so the full moon last night is in Gemini, and Gemini is all about communication. It's the mental part of ourselves. It's our this, that, over here, over there. It's like a lot of mental energy, and when it's in the full moon, that's like really shaking it up, and so you can get caught in negative patterns and negative thought cycles. You can feel like you're not able to keep your head straight or like focus. It's good to meditate at this time. It's good to stay grounded. Go stand in some dirt, stomp on the ground, really put yourself back into this physical reality. When I was watching the video last night, and I was connecting to her frequency, and she was explaining all of these really big things that were happening, because like I'm really good about being able to view things from my perspective and then think about other people's perspective, but as a collective, like not just me and another individual, but everyone, the things that she was explaining that are going to happen was able to take me out of my shifting from 3D to 5D, and I actually wrote in my journal last night about it, because right now, we are in the third dimension, the 3D world, and the reason that you don't shift to 4D if you're becoming higher elevated in your consciousness is because the fourth dimension is time, and that's the construct of, oh, these things from the future, I'm worried about those, these things from the past, I'm worried about that. The mind controls that. The mind is your ego, and your ego is always worried about, well, you did this in the past, oh, well, aren't you worried about that in the future? It's trying to control you, and you need to control it. When you break either your ego or you break the idea that time exists, either of those things will affect the other. And so in losing the concept of time, losing the concept that there is nothing else that exists except this moment, there is nothing else you can prove is going to happen except right now, when you are in that space, you shift yourself into the fifth dimension. And then you break your ego. Or you break your ego and then you're like, wow, outside of my mind and the collective, this changes everything, and you're no longer thinking about the future past, you're thinking about right now, what can we change right now, what is happening right now. The reason that I wanted to share this so drastically today and so quickly is because 2019 is going to be marking the end of like living in the 3D to permanently living in the 5D. I have a feeling there's going to be permanent shifting into the 5D for people who are ready to elevate and have learned their karmic lessons. So when I say this, I mean like, when people think that they're shifting to like 3D to 5D, they imagine that it might be like going, like I'm here on this planet and then I like go to another planet, and that's not how it works. When you shift from the 3D to the 5D, the dimensions are all stacked on this planet, on this plane, because planet is just literally the word plane. When all of the dimensions are here, it depends on what frequency you're tuned into, what your world is like, what you see, the opportunities you have in your world. In the three-dimensional world ruled by time, there are constructs, there are things that are going to keep you held back in the past, stuck in the future, not living in the now. When you transcend that, you go up into a higher dimension, the fifth dimension. In this fifth dimension, you're able to look at the collective things that are happening, the big picture, and how it affects you personally, and leave your ego out of it. And your path that you walk in the fifth dimension has a lot more purpose and meaning, and not just affecting your own life, but the lives of everyone around you. It's supposed to be for the collective good. We're supposed to raise a collective consciousness because we're all trying to go back to source. We're all trying to go back to oneness, into universal vibration. This isn't something that is always easy to stick with or like make your main goal, because you still have to work through your ego ties, and this is something I had to work on as well. I'm not saying these things from a place where I didn't have to go through this, because there were definitely times where, oh, what about this? What about this in my personal life? What about this in my... It's not about that anymore, and it's definitely, like, obviously you should still work on your personal aspirations, but those things should also be able to help the collective. And by tapping into your best creative potential and your best highest self, you will do that naturally, because the path that's meant for you, your highest vibrational path, will be something so fulfilling to you, and it also fulfills others because they tap into that energy, that frequency, and it's a circular thing. It's going to transfer to them. So, hold on. Okay, I got like 3 minutes left, and then the rest of my video is going to start. And so I'm trying to remember like what I started with at the last video. I was talking about the psychic fair. So basically, like, there's a train coming at the end of this year. At the end of 2019, there's a train already there waiting at the end of 2019. This train is going to the fifth dimension. If you've done your karmic work and you've learned your lessons and you're cutting things off, you're cutting certain people out, you're ending these things, you're really like, not like, oh, I'm just gonna say bye, and you know, if they come back, they come back. It's like, no, what is good for me, what supports me on my fifth dimensional path, what fits into my 5D reality. If there's someone who's trying to come into your fifth dimensional world and it feels wrong, or it feels like it takes you down, or it feels like it lowers your vibration, that means they're in a lower vibration, they're in a lower energy. So if you're trying to work in the fifth dimension and you're interacting with people who are 3D, you're gonna go back down there, and that's how you know they're not supposed to be there. Okay, that's how you know. And it's gonna be hard. Trust me, I understand this. But there's a train, and at the end of this year, if you're not on that, you haven't learned those lessons, you're not ready to get on it, it's gonna leave whether you like it or not. You'll be over here in the 3D, and you'll know that there's something else, because you'll notice people leaving your life, you'll notice certain people are gone, you'll notice certain things have changed, you'll feel it, and you'll be like, what the fuck happened? What did I miss? Don't miss it. Please, I'm hoping that like a good number of people can see this and feel personally that they can change what's going on in their lives. Okay, I got a minute 42 seconds left. Who know what's going on in their personal lives and the things that they really are able to reflect on, remove ego out of it, and recognize and just accept and be okay with the fact that yes, you aren't perfect, and yes, you've hurt people, and yes, you've made mistakes, and then move on from that. Learn the lesson, leave it in the past, and move to the 5D. When that train goes, it goes. And there's nothing else you're going to be able to do. And I literally, like, my mind was super blown last night after I watched this video, so I'm going to share it. Please watch it, because even just, like, interacting with, like, the energy that she puts out helps you get there. It helps you. She explained so well what's really going on in the larger grand scheme of this whole thing we call life. There's a lot more going on than you know. Those things that you think they say are conspiracies and aren't real, some of those are real, okay? And if you have the ability and you're ready, definitely shift. Don't make it hard on yourself, because at some point you're going to be forced to either have a tower moment that puts you into the 5D, that could be a harder lesson learned than doing the work now and being able to enjoy the ride, basically. You can either get on and enjoy the ride, or you're going to be working real hard to get there and you won't have enjoyed it. I mean, you'll probably have learned some more lessons, but this is something that I wanted to share today, and I just think it'd be really important. And I think the video is almost over, so now it'll go to the next portion. So I know it's kind of random, but that's what it is. So I got a reading done at the job that I work at. I got a reading, and she was telling me The time is now. No more wasting time. We have like a little astrological, like psychic fair that we do, and you can get a reading at the first of every month for like, you know, a little discount rate or whatever. And I was trying to be like cost savvy, but anyway, so I went and got one, and all of the psychics were just kind of talking amongst one another, and they live in this world not based on the standard calendar time that most of us do. They're living life by the astrological calendar, the planets and the stars in the sky that chart how things are happening. And this is a real thing. And I know you know about Mercury retrograde, so if that can be plausible and affecting your life in a personal way, why can't all of the other planets, is all I'm trying to say. So, in the video like I was watching, she explained really well all of the major planets that are changing the collective, not just your personal life, but things that are going to be changing really rapidly for the whole collective, like systems like breaking down, like patriarchy kind of stuff breaking down. There's going to be major changes, and the psychics were talking about there's a train to the 5th dimension, and there are a bunch of people on the train, and they're ready to go. They've done their work, they've learned their karmic lessons, and they're leaving them in the past because they're no longer working by the laws of time. They're now in the 5th dimension. They're not worried about the past or the future. They're living in their present, so they're able to be in the 5th dimension now. Higher vibrational beings, higher elevated minds. So they're all on this train getting ready to go into the next year prepared. They're going to be protected from a lot of these tower moments and crazy things that are about to be happening because they understand what's happening. They know what's happening, and they're preparing themselves, and they've done their work. If you haven't done that work, if you haven't cut out those people in your life that you need to cut out, if you're still holding on to things and people because you don't think the lesson has been learned, reflect on what it is that you need to learn from them. Bring it into knowledge, into your own mind. Learn that lesson. Reflect on it. Write down that lesson. Say it out loud that you know it. Really spend some time with yourself being like, I learned this lesson this year. I learned this year. I do not want to do that again. Oh yeah, that was really fucked up what I did. I don't want to be like that anymore. Really reflect on all the things you no longer want to do, the people that no longer need to be in your life who aren't adding anything to it, who are keeping you stuck in the 3D. Because when the train leaves, as these psychics were talking about, and I personally resonate with now based on my experiences, when this train leaves and goes into the 5th dimension permanently, because right now we're just shifting back and forth, people are like trying to figure out, am I there yet? I'm almost there. Once that is fully shifted in the next couple of months, maybe 2 or 3 months, once that train has left, it's gone. And it's going to be a lot fucking harder to catch up to it if you haven't done your work and you're not ready to be on it. And I recommend getting all of that done by the end of this year. And it's not one of those things where you just say you're going to do it and then someone contacts you and you let them back in. You have to cut the 3-dimensional ties now. Don't hold on to anything anymore. None of those things need to be a part of you because those are just attachments. All that you need is your own mind, your own self, your own purpose, your own path, your own goals, and everything that needs to be in your life will come in when it needs to. Please release the karmic laws. Please release the karmic lessons. Please release all of those things because they're going to keep you stuck and you will be staying in the energy of 2019. And I don't think you want that because 2019 was all about lessons, all about learning what kind of stability you need in your life, where you really want to go. 2020 is the number 4 numerologically, so it's going to be the year of foundations, the year of setting solid plans for your life, your true life. So, oh gosh, I'm like, hold on, I gotta bring myself back down. So, oh my god, okay. I just wanted to share that I think it's very important. That if you are looking to really change your life, if you are no longer want to be a part of a system that keeps you stuck like a cog in a machine over and over again, wake up, go to work, go to sleep, be on your phone, not really growing or experiencing life or learning anything or, you know, question. If you don't want those, if you're tired of those things, really look at yourself. I had to do this too, and maybe even just me talking about what I've learned will help you be able to reflect on your own. But there were some videos I made this year about people that I had been with romantically or friends or just things that I had learned this year that were hard lessons to learn, and I talked about all the things that I noticed that they did wrong. And I talked in a video about things that I was doing wrong too, but it wasn't until I've been harshly reflecting solo that I realized there were a lot of things that could have gone better or been more fruitful for both of us had I not done a lot of karmic things over and over again. there were a lot of things that I would do to partners that I wasn't even aware I was doing until I took some time to sit back and reflect and be like, wow, I did that with each of those people. Why did I do that? And then you look at that thing and you're like, okay, so where does that come from? And then you go back to where it comes from and you're like, so why is that there? You have to do that work in yourself if you really want to move forward. Please take some time to do that, because it can be really eye-opening and really humbling if you're ready to let your ego go. In doing so, okay, so in doing this, I know for me, it's going to be hard because I'm one of those people who likes to help. I like to give. I like to help people grow. I like to help people learn. But there's got to be a time where it's like, okay, well, I've given you all the tools you need. I can't do the work for you. You have to do it yourself. And I don't have time, because I'm like, I don't know if you watched Anastasia the cartoon as a child, but basically when Anastasia's grandma's on the back of the train trying to reach for Anastasia's hand, like, come on, time to go on this train to the fifth dimension, I'm back there holding out my hand to a bunch of people, and either they're going to take my hand or they're not. And I can't keep sitting at the back of the train holding my hand out waiting. At some point I need to go inside of the train and start doing my work that I'm supposed to be doing. And so that cutoff is the end of 2019. You got like 2 weeks, so get some work done. Cut out some people, make some big changes in your life. Those changes where you really blink your eyes a couple times and you're like, wow, I'm really doing this. That needs to be happening to be prepared for next year. Okay. Is there anything else I want to share? Is there anything else I want to share? Okay. So my main points were, this full moon in Gemini is all about your mind, so make sure you're reflecting on your mind, you're making sure your mind isn't controlling you, that you're not stuck in negative mental loops, that you recognize that your mind is not you, and that you control your mind, and you tell it what to do, and you tell it where to go and what you want to do. Do not let it steer. Don't let your mind steer. Let yourself steer. Yourself is different than your mind. I know that may not make sense, but if it resonates with you, then good, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people to resonate with the deeper message and not question all the details of what I'm saying, but the general overall idea. Look at your mind. Look at what you need to let go of. Let go of it. You can apologize, you can let people know what you're doing before you do it, you can say, hey, this is what's going on, but I recommend any plans or ideas that you have for your life, that you keep them to yourself. Keep those things to yourself, work on them personally, and then share it right before. Because if there are people who don't want you to get on this fifth dimensional train, there are people who want you to be stuck in the 3D with them. They don't want you to grow, they don't want you to do better. If you tell them about these plans and these changes you're making, you better believe that they're going to stop you from doing it. They're going to manipulate you and keep you in a negative mental space, especially with this Gemini energy, and you're going to be stuck there in the 3D when these changes happen, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to find the train. The train's going to be long gone. It's going to take you a lot longer to get there than you want to. So I deeply recommend that if you're finding there are a lot of people in your life where you share something good with them, or you share these changes that you want to make that are better for you, and they're not responding positively, or your intuition's getting hit and it's like, that doesn't feel right. That's not the kind of response I would want from someone when I'm telling them that I'm doing something great for me and this is the response they give me. That means that they don't want you to elevate. That means they don't want you to grow. They want you to stay there where they're at because they're not doing their work. Stop trying to do other people's work for them, and this is a lesson that I'm learning myself, so I'm not speaking from not having any kind of experience. I'm also learning how to speak my truth and not be afraid to tell people how I really feel. So also, in the ways that I'm telling you to do that, know that I've been working on that too. It's not something that was always easy for me, and it's been just recently that I've been able to really open up my throat chakra and just not care and be like, this is the truth, this is how I feel, I'm sorry if you're mad, but I can't keep living for other people's feelings and living to think that other people are going to respond or react negatively to something because it's my truth. I'm not trying to say anything to offend anyone else, I'm just doing what's best for me, and if that doesn't include you being a part of it, then it doesn't include you being a part of it, but I can't live for them anymore. It's time for me to get in the train and go. So I just wanted to make sure that other people are thinking about that before the end of this year is over, because I'm telling you, this is not like, I'm not trying to sound like a doomsday person or like seem like I'm super conspiracy theorist or anything, but there are going to be some big changes. And don't look to me for that deeper understanding of it. Watch the video, because the girl who's doing these videos and stuff, she is a very high vibrational being. She is like a lot more ascended than we are. She has a lot more downloads and intuition from her spirit guides than most people, and I can feel that in her because when I connect to her energy, I'm able to elevate to her frequency, and she helps to keep me up in higher elevation, which is why if you are a higher vibrational frequency, people who don't have that will want to tune into you. They want to connect to you because you help elevate them. So please protect your energy. Spend some time thinking about what you need to let go of this year and that you're not going to bring into the next 30 years of your existence, because there are more planetary changes happening now that haven't happened in so long that big changes are coming. If you don't want the next 30 years of your life to be how they are right now, make the changes now. Don't be afraid. You will be supported. There are opportunities around every corner, and Jupiter is in Capricorn right now, which is expanding blessings for foundations and for setting the firmness for the next 30 years. So please, I know like not a lot of people watch these videos, but even just the people who do watch the videos that I post, even just you changing your life is going to be a big deal. It's still going to affect everything, the butterfly effect. So please, take some time to reflect, write down a list of all the people that are in your life if you need to see it physically, and do they need to be in my life? Do they add positive things to my life? Even if it's family. Okay, and I know that can be hard, and trust me, I know. No one in my family is going to support me when I tell them about what I really do. No one in my family, I've already heard their opinions on the things that I do without them knowing that I do them, and that's okay. I can't be mad about that. They're not my life. They are a part of my life. They helped create part of me and who I am, but as far as going into the fifth dimension, if they're not going to support the things that I do, I can't stay in the 3D for them and so that I can make them feel comfortable. That makes no sense, and it's so selfish to do that to your personal dreams and your personal life, to stunt things for other people's comfort. Don't do that. And I've done that for long enough, and I'm not doing it anymore. So trust me when I say I know that some of it is going to hurt and you're going to feel a little lonely or you're going to feel isolated, but you will find those people who are supposed to be in your life, because when you wind up in the fifth dimension and you start connecting with people, you're like, oh wow, I don't have to change anything about myself with this person. Oh wow, I can just be straight up. I can just be me. I don't have to shift things to make them comfortable. And that should be what you want anyway. So focus on you. Don't share your plans. Reflect mentally. Stay grounded. Cut some stuff off before the end of this year. And hopefully I'll see you in the next year in the fifth dimension. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are today. Please watch that video. She even mentions me in the video. It was actually kind of cool. I was like in a little chat thing talking to her, and she mentioned my channel's page, and it actually sounded cool to hear someone else say Lucid Lunix. So I was like, oh, dope, that's dope. But anyway, I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. I'm done gabbing at the mouth. I honestly don't even know what I've said this whole time because it literally just been falling out of me, but I hope to see you all there. There's going to be some big changes. I'm going to be making some big changes to the channel as well, as far as what I'm going to be sharing with you guys, because I'm hoping that when this shift happens, that those who come to my channel will be the ones that really need to hear the message and are ready to grow. So, I will see you guys next time on the Moon Lagoon. Peace and love.